reminder, this is your dashboard, which is going to give you a high-level overview of everything that's happening in the system pertaining to you. So every time you log into your account, you'll automatically be directed to your own personal dashboard. Just as a reminder, again, your personal information is here on the left. To start today's training, we're going to go over the one-on-one process. So this is one of the reviews that will be assigned to you to complete about your direct reports. So I believe each quarter, right, Rob, there will be assigned this one-on-one. You'll see it in your review forms box exactly like you see it here. So you'll see the one-on-one and then the subject of the review. So just to point out for those of you that have multiple direct reports, you are going to see it assigned for each one of your direct reports. So just make sure you're paying attention to this subject column to ensure you're completing the one-on-one on the correct employee. So to author a review, you'll simply click the name of it from the review forms box to open it up to answer the questions. So at the top here, you'll see some helpful information. You'll see again the name of the review and the subject. And then you'll also see the due date here. Oop, didn't mean to highlight the whole thing, to know when this is due. On the right-hand side, you'll also see some helpful buttons. So one to save for later, and then one to submit it for when you've completed this. So in the center of the screen, you'll see the questions you need to answer. So this one is going to be a 3-question review with comments boxes. So you type in your response here. There is no character limit, so you can type in as much information as you need to into these boxes. So then you'll answer the next question and then the goals section as well. And then you can click submit. And there will be a sign off button so that you can sign off on it and send it to your employee also to be able to view this form. So you can click sign off and then that will send it to your employee to see those comments and also sign off on it. So great. Well, that's the one-on-one. So pretty straightforward and that will be assigned to you. Some of the other reviews that as managers you might need to assign out accordingly are the disciplinary actions and the PIPs. So in order to assign one of those reviews from your list of direct reports, you'll click the name of the employee you need to assign one of those to. And from there, you'll come to the reviews tab at the top where you'll see a create review button. When you click this, this will appear, or a pop-up will appear for you to select an already established template for these processes. So you'll see one for the disciplinary report, as well as one for the performance improvement plan. So I'm going to select the performance improvement plan, and then I'll click create review. Then I'll choose a start date. So what I want to point out here is you'll see the default is today's date at 5 p.m. It does start with you as the manager to author it. So if you select yesterday's date, it's just going to make it available right away to you on your dashboard so that you can start to fill this out right away. You do also technically have the ability to change the start date by clicking this calendar or this clock under the calendar so that if you want it on an earlier time that same day, you can do that as well. But either option would work. You just want it available right away, which is why you're selecting the date that was yesterday or an earlier time. Then you can click next. And this is just previewing, you know, that the authors have been assigned properly. So here you should see your own name and then HR also will review it. And then you can click start review. It will be on your dashboard at the designated start time that you've selected. So if I come back to my dashboard, I've already assigned the disciplinary report, but assigning that works that same way that I just went through. You would just select that template instead, and then you'll see the performance improvement plan here as well. So I'll open the employee disciplinary report first. I think this is a form that you're all used to. Pretty similar to what you've done previously. Again, this is similar to the PIP where it does come to HR before the employee sees it. So similar process there as well. And then you'll see the questions. You have one for date, which allows you to select a date from a calendar, and then you fill out the other questions here. And the easiest way to see if this employee has had previous disciplinary actions, you can click their name in a new tab to come to their dashboard and see in their reviews box any previous ones. And when you click them, you'll be able to see there will be a banner at the top with the completed date so that you can have that date as well. Does that make sense to everyone? You would click the name and then that brings you to their dashboard to reference that previous incident.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then to note here, as soon as you click submit, it's going to come directly to HR. So if you're starting this and kind of working on it, you can save it for later. But once you submit it, it comes to HR. So just be cautious of that. Okay. So I'll show the PIP as well, but same thing with any review form in the system. You always click the name of the form and you'll always see the subject to the right and as well as at the top. So this one will be slightly different to the PIP. So this one, similar text box questions here. The difference here is you'll be able to create a goal specific to this PIP, right? Of things that this employee needs to work on. So slightly different than how you were setting goals from your dashboard, but the same pop-up's going to appear when you click this button. So clicking this button will open this page for you to create that goal. What I do want to mention here, though, is creating this goal. Once you click create goal, it is a live goal. So this might be the last step you want to do during this PIP because the employee will see this goal when you click create goal. So just keep that in mind that when you're filling out this PIP, if you click, I'm just going to do example to show you. When you click create goal, that is a live goal. It is added to the form, but technically the employee can see that goal as soon as you've created it. So just be cautious of that goal that you're creating. And then you'll see another comments box, and then you'll have a section for the next meeting date for you to discuss the improvements of the goals and things discussed in this PIP. So that covers kind of the reviews that you'll be doing as managers. So what we'll go into next is the feedback feature. So this is another feature that you all will have access to. You can come in at any time and use the feedback feature. So this allows you to give feedback to anyone else at the company. So directly from your dashboard, you'll see this give feedback button where you'll be able to select someone to provide feedback about. So in this drop down, you can start to search for the name of the employee you're looking for. So I'm going to use my training employee, Emily. You do have the ability to select multiple employees if you want to, not required, but you do have that option if maybe you want to give the same feedback to the same 2 people or 3 people, you can select multiple employees as well. But once you have selected who you want to give the feedback about, you'll be able to select who you want to share it with. There is an option for public recognition. So this is any positive recognition that you want to share, something good that this employee did that you want to share with the whole company. Once you've selected that option, you can add your comments or feedback here. And then you can click give recognition. When you do click give recognition, I'm going to refresh the page, you'll see it in the feedback box like you see it here. So all employees, when they log in, if there's something that was publicly shared, will be shared exactly like this. So you can see who gave the feedback, who they gave it about. And when you click in this box, you'll see what that feedback was. If you're the employee receiving this feedback, you will receive an email notification so that you're aware of that. Also, some other options too. So maybe you don't want to share something publicly, but you still want to provide the feedback. So again, I'm going to select Emily employee and talk through some of the other options. So some of them are to just share it with the subject, which means only that employee will see that feedback. The other option is maybe only the subject's manager. So this option is helpful if maybe you want to share something that you've noticed about this employee with their manager. And I do want to show this as an example. So I'm just going to put in, feedback here. And when this is the manager's option is selected, you as that employee's manager will receive an email notification. but you'll notice it's not going to be in your feedback box on your dashboard. That is only going to show feedback that is shared with you and about you or public feedback. So to see any feedback about your direct reports, the easiest way is to use this toggle here to go to your employees or your direct reports dashboard so that you can see it here in this box. There are some other ways to do it too. You can come to your feedback tab, which will have one for my team's feedback, but I think that toggle is the easiest way to see feedback about your team. So that is shared with you. So whether as a manager or about you, you will receive an email notification that you've received feedback for you to view. And then another option, so is obviously a combination of both subject and subjects manager, which similarly would go to both people, and you as the manager would view that with that My Team toggle or with that email. But the last option I want to point out is do not share. So this is a good way to document notes of things that have happened throughout the year that you want to remember, maybe for a one-on-one or documenting something. Maybe it isn't quite a disciplinary yet, but you want to document something that might lead to that, right? This will only be private to you. So it's a good way to document things about your direct reports for you to reference back to. So if you select do not share and then save note, you can reference those notes under your feedback tab. Okay. Another thing I want to point out are documents. So all employees will have a documents folder, yourself included, but this is a good way to store any supporting documents that will help assist with reviews. So you can click upload documents where you have the ability to choose if you as the employees manager just want to see it or both. So in this example, I'm uploading it to my own documents folder. So maybe I just want something that's visible to me. I can unselect management, but it's a good way to share documents that you want to upload to support reviews.
So